Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel, Living the Country Life with Thomas Collins. Guess where we're at, as you see behind me? Town hall meeting. Let's get into this. Check it out. Cars everywhere. Let's go. How do you think this one's gonna go? Leave in the comments. Leave in the comments who you think's gonna be the mayor. Russ, Teresa.
My mom made me listen to Tony Orlando. You gotta be better than that.
You told me to come in big.
You?
Not here.
You told me to come here.
What were you saying?
You?
No. You can't blame it on me, buddy.
I know the CB song.
Boy, these cameras around, it's starting to be like on TV. Yeah.
Oh, you're on number.
Huh?
You will be tonight.
Yeah. I had that show where the guys go, son and the father go around to different post offices and stuff.
Thank you. I just got back from the gym.
I had to film this.
Anytime Fitness in Chiefland. Yeah, that's where I go. To the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Swear in the new council member. Ms. Otter, if you'll.
It doesn't matter. I have a Bible. Do you prefer to put your hand on the Bible or do you prefer not to? Okay. Here, let's try to come to the middle. Okay. So you'll have to put raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm.
I do solemnly swear
Or affirm.
or affirm
That I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States and the state of Florida.
of the United States and the state of
Most of them
Florida.
don't even know
That I
what
am
it is.
duly qualified to hold office
And duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state.
Eight diamonds.
And that I will well and faithfully perform the duties
and that I will well and faithfully perform the duties
of town council
of town council
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help you God. Congratulations.
Thank you.
First order of business is select the mayor
Keep now.
next year. Floor is open for nomination.
And I'll second it.
Nomination don't need a second, but we'll do a roll call vote. You get
Really, you-
Councilman Granger, for or against?
Four.
Patrick, for or against?
Four.
Gail? For. Severino?
Well, I find it odd. I'm gonna,
Okay. I'll say yes, and we'll unanimous. Slide that down there. The new mayor.
Go right back here in the corner. Yes, sir. No problem.
I'd like to nominate Jim for vice mayor.
I nominate Russell.
I'll second the first one.
We got to vote on him first. The nomination don't need a second. So,
So can I get a vote?
Ms. Cranger,
All four?
Aye.
it needs to be a roll call vote.
Can I get a roll call vote?
Yes, you will roll call vote on your nomination.
Dale?
I'm for.
Don? Russell?
Go with it.
Okay, unanimous. So where's the agenda?
The only other thing that, I thought y'all was notified by email, so I figured you probably had one.
No.
I haven't seen anything.
So now we're voting for the Waukesasa resolution.
To bring you up to that resolution, we voted to, one time to start that process, which the lawyers have got it ready. And now we've got to pass it, that we are joining this MC3. I was told y'all was notified by email.
We were, but she usually gives us a copy too here, so we've just like do that.
So we've got officially adjourned to be a member of that MC3 to get water from Bronson. And the reason it's come up right now is because there's money available right now. But they need to, Water Management District needs to get us on board so they can file for the money.
Okay, when does this need to be turned into them?
Uh,
Immediately?
If we pass it tonight, then I make a motion that we pass that, then you sign it and get it to them.
Okay, do I hear a motion to pass this Waukesasa agreement?
I made the motion.
Second. I'll second the motion.
All in favor? And we do need to assign somebody to that,
We just got to sign this acceptance.
but we need to assign somebody to the board, correct? In this
Yes,
agreement?
yes, I think, yes.
I make a motion to make them the head of that board.
Okay.
All in favor? Are you in favor, Gail?
You need a second to the motion.
Anyone opposed?
Fine.
Is anyone opposed to that?
No opposition.
Okay. And the next thing we need to have a discussion about is the clerk situation. Has an ad been run? Has anything happened with
I don't
that?
believe we can discuss that at this meeting.
But we don't have a clerk, and I'm asking if anything has been
It's a
run.
terrible
We
situation.
can have a discussion.
It is,
So-
it's an emergency that we have a clerk.
You might be able to bring it up under public comment or new business.
If it's not on this list as agenda, it's the failure of the previous administration.
It is what?
It will be the failure of the previous administration.
We need a clerk.
It's been 2 months without a
All
clerk.
you gotta do is,
I don't know what to say to that.
all you gotta do is call for a vote to add it to the
And
agenda.
we'll mainly take care of what we've taken care of.
Do I hear that we're voting to add this to the agenda to
I'll make-
discuss the clerk situation?
I'll make a motion that we look into an emergency situation with clerk to get us through until we can hire one correctly.
And Russell
An
seconded
emergency
that.
situation.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
So what is she, can I ask
Ms.
that?
Preston is taking a writing the minutes down of this meeting I didn't have nobody else to do it. And
So
she
she's like a
volunteered.
clerk for tonight.
She's
More or
just
less.
taking minutes, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think she probably wants to apply for the job. And she has some experience in city government. I would recommend that we consider her.
Check her out. Last time you did it.
Well, I think we have someone here that's very qualified that wants the job as a temporary situation to help us bring it
There's
into.
somebody that wants it too. Tommy, she's willing to move down here and apply for it if she could.
We've got, the emergency situation is that we got a lot of things we gotta correct and we're gonna bring up to date. And we gotta find out what's all in there. We don't know. We didn't know we got passwords to the computer. We got passwords to the computer.
Do you know roughly the passwords?
Yeah,
I
see,
do
we
not
got-
know.
Yeah. So
You
we
have to go in there and
got,
turn it on and find out.
right.
I had nothing to do with that,
Yeah.
that office. That was the clerk's job.
We got, I nominate Deanna here, has got very good experience with computers and research, and help us bring ourselves up to date so we can actually follow through with transparency and being open. Anyone else support that?
I do, yeah. We gotta have something.
We gotta have something, we gotta have transparency.
When could you start?
Tomorrow.
First of all, this has to go through a process.
We are-
In an emergency
we're-
placement, we can place someone in emergency and in the meantime, run the ads and get applications and then look over the applications. But in the meantime, in an emergency placement, somebody could be in here doing stuff. And then when all the
Then we can-
resumes are received, we can go through them and pick somebody on a permanent basis
This is just temporary situation, so we can advertise it and get the
and get that
people a
rolling.
chance to put in for the job.
So this is just a temporary emergency placement.
Okay, first of all, that job is a lot more complicated than anybody really, it's more than just, typing up reviews.
Which is why we need somebody in
Why
there.
we need somebody, but somebody, I think that we should contact our accounting firm, Powell and Jones, and have them send out one of their clerks to go in there and get everything in order and get everything running. Because to go into an office like that cold, with no knowledge in there.
So they can go in there cold with no knowledge?
Nice.
We're certain,
Oh,
we're
absolutely.
certain it can be a lot of help.
What's the difference?
They've done all
There's a
of them.
motion on the floor and there's a second. Who's in favor?
What was the motion? I mean,
For emergency placement of Deanna to be a clerk while we run the ads and find somebody.
That's the motion?
Yeah.
There's been
And
a
then-
motion, there's been a second.
By who? Who seconded it? You're on a roll.
All in favor?
That's four.
Who's opposed?
Yes, I know that.
Who's opposed?
Anyone opposed?
Anyone opposed?
Okay, so that's 4 in favor or 5 in favor?
I guess it's fine.
So 5 in favor.
Okay, it's unanimous.
Yes.
So we'll place Deanna and then we'll get those ads run and collect resumes for anybody who wants to put in a resume.
His answer should be definitive, it should not be, I guess, it's fine.
I agree. So, in the minutes, we need to state that all 5 council members are on seat. The 4 new positions are filled. We have selected Teresa as the mayor, myself as vice mayor, and that we are going to place Deanna as a temporary clerk. And
We're repeating ourselves.
So that she can make
so
sure
I'll
she has the
she has
minutes.
this in the minutes corrected this way.
That's all.
This-
And thank you for taking the minutes, we appreciate that.
I'll rewrite it.
No, that's
Yeah.
fine. It's just want to make sure all the details are in it, because these are the things the bank's got to have.
Have it all.
Did you get,
Yes,
she needs to
Deanna.
get your name.
I need your last name. West.
Um,
And so there's no passwords as far as keys for the building?
I'll fix and give them to you.
Okay. Just make sure we have all that.
So did Mary have a book of passwords or is she anything?
I don't know. I can find out.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And back to Jones Associates, the county group, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of help. We're gonna need their help even still. We got someone here to work with us that can actually work with them and do the procedures and stuff.
They just done an audit
Yeah.
2 months ago. They come to the meeting and the audit was just completed. But it's an ongoing process. It's got to be started again too.
All right, so let's go, if we can, while we're talking about the water management thing and the clerk, now we have set the clerk staff. Richard, I saw Richard earlier. Is Richard here? Richard was able to read the meters and record all the meter numbers so that we can do billing. We need to do the billing for last month. We needed, I was thankful he was able to get that done that way, so that we don't improperly bill people on water over the 30 days time. Have you turned that in, Richard? Anyone?
No, I still haven't.
You do? Can we get that from you tomorrow? If someone's not here, put it in the box, please, sir. And while we're still talking about the water stuff, I'm just trying to get where I can see this one, talk to you. Where do you stand on everything? Are you okay with everything and continuing on? Everyone likes what you've been doing. Your work habits have been great and never had an issue with anyone on it.
I'm fine with staying.
Good.
That's
I'm
what
glad to hear
we're
that.
looking. All right. Good deal. So we got the keys situation we need to talk about. What did you have left on your list on the agenda and stuff that you wanted? Something else on there?
Public comments.
Public comment? Does the council have anything else before we have public comment?
Well, I'm a little bit concerned about, I should probably wait for public comment this year. Rather than a council.
Got a quick public.
The second. If we're all done, then you can open up public comment.
I'd like to open the floor for public comment.
I'd like Deanna to give us a little synopsis of her history. So, the board members can all know what you've done for work in the past.
I work on my own business. I have been an education director. I have been self-employed. I've done websites. I've done education for teaching people how to work on computers. I owned a photography business for 25 years. I took care of all of that myself.
You can stand for me.
I made sure that realtors got their education and were set up under DBPR to make sure that they went by all the rules and regulations for the state of Florida. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer any question you have.
Do you understand this is a temporary situation?
I absolutely understand that.
And we appreciate you jumping in to help us.
We're hoping that your true knowledge will help us a lot.
I'd like to thank everybody for attending and all those who voted for me. I do plan for transparency and I do want the town to get involved. I want people to ask questions. I want discussions. I want this town to come together and start doing things together instead of being divided. I don't believe in a one-man show, and I believe this board should have discussions. I think the people should have discussions. And I just want people to know that you can talk to each other. It's not a one-man show here.
Back up just a minute. Since Dina's taking over, I think you want to classify the clerks taking over the office here as a workshop. So that way the different council members that have lots of knowledge and everybody can work together and trying to establish that. So that way different council members can be here. But the workshop has to be designated time during the week, so it makes it legal with the sunshine law. If we establish the time frame from 10 to 2 on the weekdays, say Wednesday, Thursday, two days a week. That way, all the council people can come, and we can all work together, and it's open to the public. And it has, this gives everybody some notice that that'll be a public workshop. Now, so everybody understands the rules of a public workshop is the council meets with the people, they work with everybody, and they all discuss everything they're doing. It's not a participation of the viewers, but everyone can come in and see it and watch it, but they don't get to participate into that training process.
Madam Mayor, may I address the council?
Yes,
I have a few things I would like to address the council with. If I go over 3 minutes, is that okay?
it is.
Okay, first and foremost, I would like to gift this to the town of Otter Creek. So I would like permission to actually WD-40 with grease lithium the hinges so that we can get rid of that noise and the distraction in the meetings. I don't want to do it without permission. May I have your permission?
Absolutely, I plan on bringing some myself because that door.
I motion that.
Okay. I would request your permission for another thing as well. There is an illegal sign here in Town Hall, no cameras.
Yeah,
This
correct
is,
that.
may I remove it?
Yeah.
Okay, there's another sign on the inside of the door. So I appreciate the permission. I don't want this town in any more legal liability than the previous administration has already placed it in.
Yeah, that shouldn't be on the law.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
I would like to address some of the council members, and I want to be clear that the United States Supreme Court gives me the legal right to criticize a voted-in council member. And so in the past, the administration has cut and adjourned the meeting. We have a legal right to criticize those who are voted to represent us. Now, if you want the statute, I'm going to tell you, you're paying a lawyer, make sure your lawyer actually does what you're paying him for, because he ain't here tonight, and he's only been here one time. So you go to him for the statutes, make him do the work. But this is what I would like to say. Dom, for over a year, I've championed you. And I've watched you actually fight with him on everything, every aspect.
The things that weren't correctly
To this
done.
point of you saying the state mandates this. This must be changed. Don, to a point to where I'm quoting you now, which is on camera.
It's fine.
You insinuated a legal pursuit
You were
against
wrong.
Russell and the town.
I said I was going to investigate. I never said anything
These are your
about
words.
suing the town or any legal
These are
action.
your words to Russell. It's going to be challenged. I'm going to go wherever I need to go. Mr. Warren, maybe you should advise the mayor about the seriousness of these actions he wants to take right now. He knows it's not right. Now, Don, this is all I want to say. The people have watched you fight the corruption and the wrongdoings in this town council for the past year. And the last meeting, you nominated Russell, and I gotta say, I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm not here to not disappoint you. I'm here for
To
people of Otter
represent
Creek.
us. You're here to represent us and the town.
I represent the people of Otter Creek.
I just
not
want to
you.
share that now, last meeting where I was so disappointed in you,
Yeah, it's fine.
now
very
I'm half disappointed in you. Because tonight you went with the unanimous vote, but every single time you muttered something under your breath, such as, oh boy, when Therese was just nominated as mayor.
No, that's not true.
This is the
not
will
true.
of the people.
That's not true.
Okay, Don, thank you for voting Therese. Thank you for doing the
You don't
right
have to
thing.
thank me. I'm just doing
Even
what's
if you
right.
didn't want to do it. Russell, I've been around the world. Literally around the world. I've met people in every culture, in every place. You have to be one of the most ignorant and incompetent individuals I've ever met in my life. I have a legal right to say this,
No,
Don.
you don't. Not here. Not
You
the quorum
should
says
do
no.
the right
The
thing
council of quorum
and
says you
resign
do not do
from
that
council.
to people, to anybody in here.
Any mayor who
You're not gonna listen because you
antagonizes
don't
the
listen.
membership
Because you're
that
the
he's
bigger- you're
voted
the
to
problem.
actually represent would sue us. How much of a fool can you be to the position in the legal liability you've placed this town in now?
Now listen.
Where you have how many cameras on you right now? I want you to know something. I am the Hudson mentality. I would stand side by side with the Hudsons because they were for the people.
Listen,
not for a person. So I'm calling you to resign and never run for council again. This is your last chance where I'm going to say, do the right thing. Do not place this town in any more legal liability.
Second the motion. Let's have a
I can't do it.
forensic,
Madam Mayor, thank you.
and find, you said corruption for 6 months, corruption. Show us one bit of corruption. Let's get a forensic audit in here, and you show me one instance of corruption.
If he shows it to you, you're gonna resign?
So,
Don, your mayor doesn't even show
he
you the
is
bills
not
and the paper.
corrupt, okay?
You
said that to.
I apologize for going over my time. You're the one that threatened to actually sue him because he was doing it
I
wrong.
never threatened to sue on this, and I was gonna take it as far as I'm capable
So,
of taking it.
Madam Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to
She
speak.
has a comment.
I do. As an outsider coming from Port Charlotte, Florida, I just want you to know, we watched you guys, and I've looked at some of the bylaws in this town, and I'm very politically correct. I go all over the country, all over the world, my husband and I. My husband's a veteran from the Navy, and I own a small business in our small town. When I walk this area, and I've seen your charter, and anybody that comes in here to invest in your area, it's scary. We just went to Cedar Creek to buy some property. We were looking here. The trash, it's scary. It really is a scary area. And that's the only reason why we come down here, because it's beautiful, this area. We live in a big town and it's not, but this area is beautiful, and I would never invest in a town like that. And it's a really shameful, because the people I've met here are amazing. The trees are beautiful, the land's beautiful, but the area is just not. So, y'all probably should think about that.
Yes, thank you.
I'd like to address a previous meeting. I believe it was Dan that brought up a motion about the speed limit sign. And I read on the statutes on the speed limit sign, there is one where he wanted to put one already. Okay, I believe under the statutes, it allows for you guys to vote it and motion and whatever you gotta do, right? To put a bigger one. You don't need to replace the one that's there in front of your property on the north side of 24. Right past Herschel's, right there by your property. There's already a 35 there, and then the other one's above Otter Creek Boulevard, Avenue Boulevard, whatever it is. Anyhow, I believe the statutes allow for you to okay for that sign to be enlarged. Okay, and if you do the opposite end towards where his property is, coming in the opposite way from Cedar Key, it might help a little bit.
That's portion of our town that's regulated by DOT. And the sign, as congested as the area is, and the sidewalk down that side, you're not really allowed to put such a big, too big of a sign, because you're actually blocking, obstructing the view of potential.
Well, it might have to be, I know that in the statute, there's offsetting rules, and you'd have to get into it with DOT, but I believe you can put up a larger sign there.
Listen, I agree with him 100%.
Bigger than the stop sign?
People race down that road.
I don't know what the exact dimensions are, I don't want to go into it.
They're largely ignored. Okay, so I don't think the size of them is.
Well, I'm sure we can certainly check into
do anything.
And other signs, like, when you're going into Bronson, there's a nice welcome to Bronson type sign. See
Yeah.
if we can get something like that, maybe even donated,
Right,
See
I agree.
if,
I've
Scott
commented on that
and
myself. That would be
Ellie might
beautiful to put a nice welcome to Otter Creek
want
sign
to
in.
donate some time or something.
Yeah.
Talking about beautification and
Yes.
stuff like that.
I'm a lifelong resident of Levy County, and my grandmother was actually born in the house down there on the corner.
Oh.
So I just want to give you guys some advice. Years ago, we had a county commissioner who committed a federal crime, and they went to federal prison. So I don't ever want that to happen to anybody. So I'm going to give y'all a couple of key points that I've looked at. Anytime y'all rush to pay bills and there's no receipts, there's no information on what the bills are, it looks deceptive to the public. That's why anytime you guys rush to pay bills, you should always have a printout of what the bills are. It's a small community, it's not hard. Anywhere there is money being exchanged should be under camera. Should always, you need to be seeing who's paying their bills, because it's for an audit. It doesn't matter if that's the only person in there, or if it's out here as a government building, there should be cameras on the outside. You've had a house that burnt last year. You've had a trailer that was stolen a couple months ago, or a couple of days ago. You guys should always have cameras in this building right now to watch and see if somebody's taking anything off the top. Because it can happen. Somebody can be going through a hard time. There should be a camera. The next thing, all your records, this is a government facility. You should look at the courthouse. You should look at Chiefland. You should look at Bronson. All your records, all your bills, they should be uploaded to a site where you can easily say, here's your public record. Somebody wants to make a records request, here it is.
Yeah.
You go to the courthouse, it's uploaded to the internet, somewhere safe. You guys should look, because you can piggyback on some of their deals. Like, if they're paying the company, you may can piggyback on there and get the same rate as Chiefland or Bronson or the courthouse. And that way, all your records, all your receipts, they're easily audible. If somebody's on that computer right there and they get a virus, those records are gone.
Right.
That's scary for public records. Personal cell phones. If you use your personal cell phone to conduct any town business, it can be federally audited. That includes text messages, voice calls. So anything that you're making calls of, and it can even go with spouses. You look at January 6th thing, anything you're making comments on, text from your personal phone, but you're also using it to call any one of y'all, call each other, even if it's, say, for a barbecue, they can pull that and say, why are you calling this person 10 times a day? Why did you call this person 2 minutes before the meeting? Why did you text us? So I always say, be careful with your personal cell phones when you're conducting any kind of government business. There was a comment made about backflow, about pumping chemicals into a couple weeks ago, about using fire hydrants and being worried about backflow. The house down there was 1918. It's already been shown that backflow is happening when the water pressure drops. There's maybe pipes in some of these houses that have lead-based. Some of that lead-based water could be going back to citizens right now. All it would take would somebody have like a filter on their house and put fentanyl in it, and it backflow into the system. That's why y'all should be really looking at a grant or something to put check valves on every single person's line. That way it also saves on the pressure, it saves on the pumps. You're not burning out your equipment, but you're also ensuring that everybody's bill is correct, and that it's not because you have filters that your pumps are weak or they're old. You basically protect your people by a $30 part for everybody. And they may be backflowing. Has anybody ever seen somebody who has cancer because of lead poisoning? It's possible that you may have a neighbor in the last 20 years, maybe drinking backflow water from an old house. They may have a new trailer, new house, but their neighbor has an old house. So it's just being aware that what you are drinking may be coming back from somebody who didn't upgrade their pipes. You can go on Google Earth, you can go on Google Maps, and you can look at this place from 2008. I think this out here is part of a historic society. Drive around in 2008 on Google Maps and look at how beautiful this place used to be. I know there's some people that are getting older, and the houses, they may not be able to take care of their property. There's people that are willing to help. You even have a school down here, and some of these kids probably could use some community service hours if you really asked them to help around the community. Hey, maybe all it's going to cost is somebody to donate gas, donate a push mower. It would look so beautiful. My grandma died almost a year ago, and her favorite thing was Otter Creek. She was a Moody. If you've ever heard about anything about the Moody's, they used to own the store down there, Herschel's, before Herschel's did it. And, it comes to me that as a community, I only live 6 miles down the road, so we have a bigger community than you guys, and it's a shame that you don't have anybody who wants to invest in the gas station. You have 400 people that live within 10 miles, and there's not a gas station within this area.
What happened to the gas station in Gulf Hammock?
The problem that happened with the gas station in Gulf Hammock is that the guy who owned it used to be one of the biggest, let me explain, he used to be one of the biggest gas station owners. He was from another country. He went bankrupt. The man who came from Kentucky was only leasing it. What happened is the state came in and they asked him for the paperwork on the tanks. The owner of the property did not want the lender, the guy who was leasing, to show the tanks, the information about the tanks, because the tanks were already expired. The owner of the property did not want to pay for the tanks to be pulled up and replaced, because it would have been between $50,000 to $100,000. And the guy who owned the property went bankrupt. He filed Chapter 11. So that's why. Right now we have somebody who's tried to build it, but the state's kind of holding them back right now. And
You
the
wanna
thing
buy
is,
Liz will sell hers for $4 million.
yeah. But what I'm saying is,
No less.
just like this gas station down here, why you don't have any problem with getting that activated is because it's an above the ground tank.
Liz is not gonna
Right.
get gas. I work for Liz.
Right. But that's what I'm
She can buy the
saying.
store for $4 million.
That's what I'm saying. But you don't even have anybody that would put in anything, because there's no.
There's no property to put it.
Well,
No, I'm saying-
realistically, if this is a market study, it just would not be profitable. You can't get anybody to
Right.
invest that kind of investment.
But
for
you asked-
something that has so few
You asked
customers.
about the boat, but let me
Give us reasons why he's saying it.
let me say this real quick. There's a boat down there. There's two things I want to point out about the property around the Board of County Commissioners, and I know they just put a sign up. It's the first time I've ever seen the Board of County Commissioners put a sign up that says, "Don't come on this property, Board of County Commissioners," right on 19. I just seen it come up. And maybe it's because they are now pushing down, doing the helipad cleaning up, and they don't want anybody out there in the equipment. One, you guys should push for a satellite dump station. There's nothing for you guys. You have to go all the way to Bronson. You have 400 families, people that could be utilized. Push the county commissioners to get a dump station out here so you don't have to go to Bronson to go all the way to the dump. You should really push for that. And you would also help the citizens of, Gulf Hammock or Inglis that don't go to Bronson. That's what I would suggest, is talk to the county commissioners about seeing if you can get that. But the sad thing is, right on the back side of that property, the cutover road, I guess it's where the train station or depot used to be, there is a boat that is right on the edge of the road. It's been there for over 30 years. It's on county easement. And this town has never looked at pulling up. It's got a tree growing up in it. Nobody has ever looked at, why are we mowing right here and nobody has ever pulled this boat off? It's sticking out.
It's a planter.
And,
Yeah.
actually, a lot of people like it and
But
go
what-
and take photos of it.
I know, and I just took one. But what I'm saying is you have properties where there's just junky, and I know a lot of people want to they don't want to clean their property because they think it's going to keep the property taxes low. It's sad when you have a historic area and it's just junked up. It's really, if you live in town, there's usually a code enforcement. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Can we ask you to come back next month and continue?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm just trying to be fair to everyone else, that's all.
Yes.
Okay, back to the WC3 grant. Okay, we're talking about getting water from Bronson. Is that what this grant is?
It's an interlocal agreement to start the process of it. Russ will know
Okay,
more
so if
about
we're doing that, what is going to happen with our new plant? Is it going forward, or are we now considering joining Bronson since they're going to Cedar Key?
This is something that could happen in the next year, and if it does, the grant would be revoked, or reverted. And I think that we need to look into the sincerity of this actually, not this one, but this actually happening. And if it does, our system is still gonna have to work. And it's just, all we're doing is we're just getting a source of clean water. It's gotta go through our system and be pumped and distributed by our system. It's not gonna come in and take over our system. Our system's still gotta be updated and kept up and keep going and maintained. It's just gonna make it so that it's gonna cut out a lot of extra stuff that we don't have to do.
Yes, sir. Can sit here for a while.
Substation, in essence.
Yeah, basically, and that way I'll keep the town's pressure correct. And then we can focus on the backflow valves, and you put in all these things, the things that we can focus on those things versus spending money on what we could get through this process here. You know, it's a very good thing, it is no doubt.
Richard made a good point where it's I paid $650 for a backflow preventer of a Nassau.
Yeah.
And it's the one that is the legal Florida backflow, comes up and does the little U above ground, because you're supposed to have an on-off valve to them as well, and they have to be inspected annually. So there's more to that story than just a simple check valve.
Those aren't the ones for the residential meters, those are for commercial.
Well, that was a commercial building,
Commercial
but
application.
he's got a 2-inch pipe.
Right.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. But the residential meter one isn't that expensive, and it is something, it is required, and it's been required all along. I believe it was in one of the grants previously, it just never, they run out of money on it, but they've never put it back into the process of the grants. You know, it's kept getting shorted and pushed aside. But it definitely needs to be put in there to pardon me?
Yeah. Council members, that Southwest Fifth Avenue Road right here in the city limits, can we see about in the future maybe getting that little short piece paved or some rock hauled on it? Get rid of them potholes down there by Joy's house, or I know it belongs to the county even though it's in the city.
Right.
But they paved one in Chiefland going to the trailer park they built behind Walmart. That was the county road, and they paved it due to the dust
Right.
that the people complained about.
I don't know if we can get a plan to pave it as far as the town goes. The county is the only source for that.
That's what I'm talking about, see if y'all can get to the county to do it.
But if, during the meantime, I think that we could probably find money somewhere for somebody, or even if it's donated, for the lime rock, so we can actually patch the roads and use it.
I doubt a tractor, we can just get the material and
Someone
put
just
it on
asked
the
me about
road.
my equipment earlier. I've got equipment at the house that I use on job sites all the time. It's not in use. No, you asked me about the equipment outside. I'm saying I have equipment, I can actually bring it, we can grade these roads with it when we get the lime rock.
That's the only road in Otter Creek that's not paved.
Yeah.
Everything else done been paved.
Yeah, put you some millings down there.
They'll have to pave it, because I've already asked that question to a county commissioner.
Yeah, the county doesn't really allow the millings, even on driveways attached to your aprons and stuff, to the right of ways.
Oh, really?
But that's what I was told about. I asked about, why don't they mill the whole thing, and they said, no, they'll have to pave it then. I said, that'd be a good thing there too.
I hate to stand up because I can't.
You don't have to, boss.
I'm not going to try.
We'll listen to you anytime you want.
I'm going to try to be very calm this time, because I've been sitting here listening to a whole bunch of crap. And here's what it is. Water, my wife here, as mayor, worked on the water problem for almost 16 years and got no results from Chiefland or Bronson, and also got a grant sent to us here that was used by you people, maybe not you, but other people who sat there, and went, and you were about to lose the next one. That's how close you are now. The grant that you have now, you're gonna lose, okay? You're gonna keep it up till it's all wet to clean. As far as the water goes, I haven't drank this water since the day I moved in here. Especially when I put 6 dark black shirts in my laundry and they came out white. So I know not to touch this water. Even my cats die from the water. I've had dogs die from the water. And you're sitting there talking about water and this and the other thing. All right, pipes are in the ground, they're bad. You know it, I know it. It's about time to do something about that. And you're gonna make us pay big money for this water, which I got a couple of months ago, $1,500 bill for water. Where the hell did I use $1,500? You tell me. And you got stuff piled all over your land over there, talking about, oh, how bad it looks in this town. There's stuff all over the place. It's piled here, piled there. It's yours, it's mine, it's everybody here. So it's about time to either do something drastic or leave it alone. People are tired of listening to all this crap. Right? I know I am. And the next thing in line You and her ran these three for the last hour or so. You ran the meeting. They said nothing. They sat over there like bumps on a log. I hate to say this, but it's the truth.
Could you clarify that?
What?
Could you clarify that?
Yeah, you sat there while I ran the meeting. They ran the meeting, not you guys. You sure you got into a fight with Jerry? Well, who the hell knows? I get in a fight with him all the time.
Hales, who the Hales?
The hell, yeah.
Yeah, there
What the hell? Okay?
I think he had a comment.
Yeah, what I'd like to say, my name is Charles Larry Watson Jr. My mom grew up here, went to school here. My aunt and uncle owned Herschel. I lived there in 1973 after my uncle died. So I was at one time a resident here. And I have seen this town. I'm telling you, there's a lot of good people back here back then. There's Williamses, it was Cruises, and everybody knows who I'm talking about. They were good people. Bass Cruz, Thelma Cruz, Rollie Thompson. There's a young boy that lived here. His name was Joe Gore. I think he had a heart attack at 28 years old and died. Don't forget things like that. This was a good town at one time. I live in Gulf Hammock. I've seen it go bust. Well, gone away. Otter Creek is our neighbor. I'm trying to help maybe get the store going or something. I have a lot of connections. I'm telling you. I was meat cutter, run meat department for years. Down in English down there. Mayor down there, Carol Richard. I remember she come in one time to get a special that she had ordered, and the delivery didn't come in. I'm just telling you this. The delivery didn't come in, so I called the representative from the company and he said, I'll bring the delivery tomorrow. The guy that delivered the delivery truck, Eileen Warnes had killed him in the forest. And as years went by, when we had things going on in the county, I'm a silent person. I'll pick up the phone, I call Danny Ship, talk to Danny Ship. We went to school together. I'll call Linda Fugel when she was tax collector. Her mom is my neighbor. I do things. What I'm trying to say, I like to see this town work together and come back up. Now, I mean, there's a lot of good people here. There's a lot of people around here that's got skeletons in their closet, and I can bring them out. You don't want me bringing them out. So y'all guys work together.
Bring them out.
I'm telling you now, my best friends are millionaires. I mean, I'm just telling you. Guys, y'all work together, and I'm gonna make one more point. I like to see, Levy County, when we come here on the 13th, is one of the lowest developed counties in the state. And I grew up till I was 13 in Ocala. When I come over here, I was mind-boggled how things were so different. Made bad grades over in Marion County. When I got here, I started making good grades. It's really sad. It's really sad. But people need to work together. Now, one more thing I'm going to make a point of. When somebody comes in and y'all don't like them and they're here to help, for God's sake, may the Lord bless y'all. An angel has been sent here and people don't realize it. That's all I'm saying.
You didn't have to call me an angel.
Did anybody else have any comments?
Madam Mayor, I have one more comment.
I find it odd, I never thought that way before.
Hey, it's Otter Creek.
That Otter Creek has 100 residents, that's more or less. And 30% of the residents have one physical address. You know, to me, that's very odd. It's also very odd that you have 5 councilmen, and with one with the very least amount of experience, even day one, all of a sudden becomes the mayor. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not going to be a good mayor. I find that very odd. You have 4 people with all kinds of council experience, and someone who's never had a day.
Didn't you vote for
Good luck
Obama?
and for all of us.
Yeah, well,
I
I
just
believe
find that
that
very
everybody
odd.
should work together to make this successful. That's
You're
what I
missing, you're
believe.
missing my point. The oddness of
There are plenty of
30% of the people living in have one physical
And you've
address.
been on the board for 30 years and nothing's changed.
How many? You don't know what's changed around here. You don't know
Let's just
anything.
work together.
We can't work together.
Okay?
I'm just saying it's very odd.
There's lots of things in this world that are odd.
Well, no, I'm not.
I think this is the most progress I've seen.
You mean 30% of the people live in one physical address? Well, I know what democracy is, you know. I mean, I don't need a lecture on that, believe me.
Well, I mean, all people in this town
And I don't know
are
if
people in
that's
this town. It doesn't
democracy or
matter
not.
whether they live on this street or
Everyone
that
who
street.
lives here was welcome to vote.
Pardon?
Everyone who lives in this town was welcome to vote, were they not?
Absolutely, but it's odd that they all, 20% have one address.
I
To
don't
me,
know
that's
that
odd.
that's true, but
And,
Maybe we can bring some
some implications to go along with that. I'm not gonna make
So
any.
you'll be helping
Everybody else
make
can
this town
make their
great,
own
right?
implications.
you'll be helping make the town great.
Well, we're all here to.
That's wonderful.
I have one more comment that I think is extremely important, if I may. So, Madam Mayor, unfortunately, due to the antagonizing by the former mayor, Russell Meeks Sr., you now find yourself in a lawsuit. The town of Otter Creek is in a lawsuit. And your former mayor, Russell Meeks Sr., has been filmed with Richard, your maintenance man, removing items from the town hall.
22 years.
So all of that is on camera. Nobody knows what those items are, per se, in the midst of a lawsuit. Now, obviously, Russell's not going to answer my questions. Ultimately, he's going to answer that
We had a
question.
good marriage.
I would like to see if you could get an answer from Russell, what was removed from town hall in the midst of a lawsuit.
What?
Former clerk, personal, that's not public comment.
He says it's your personal life.
Thank you for asking.
I make a motion with adjourn this meeting.
Did you
I have a public comment,
Go ahead.
because I was directed in his comments. What's wrong with my address? Are you taking exception that I live in an RV?
Not one bit. Not one bit. If that's the way you take it, then I don't know, how you take
Well, on
one
that
other
one
thing.
address, you
No,
can.
I'm saying one address. I don't know if you live in a tent or if you live in an RV or
Well, I
one of
live
those
in a
cabins. I don't
little room,
know.
man.
It doesn't matter.
They keep me in a prison.
Have you been
You
there?
voted for Obama, that's the thing I don't get.
Okay, I hear a motion.
Adjourn.
Second. Is everyone in agreement?
That's the first time that has been
Adjourn the meeting? I don't think that.
Well, we're going to need you, man. Physical therapy.
Jeremy, you think that's even going to help the door?
We'll find out.
Yes, sir. Can you say a word to our fans? Because half of these fans are yours.
The only words I ever have are what? The Otter Creek.
Otter. Thank you, Jeremy. Don. Everybody. See ya.